Welcome to another episode from HenRefurb. It's been a while since I've been in front of the camera, so I hope you've missed me, but I am now back. I've been very busy working on all sorts of projects. I've also been away on holiday for a while. This particular project, the sandblasting, is taking absolutely forever, and ever since I set all of this up we've had a storm that's destroyed my lovely sandblasting tent, and I've had all sorts of problems with equipment and stuff, and I'm just about getting back into it, but unfortunately I haven't finished it yet. So in the meantime I thought I'd do a bit of work on the GT6 because I've got some problems with it. That's over there. So my overdrive doesn't work properly and it's getting really annoying. It doesn't engage in third gear anymore properly, and fourth gear takes forever to go in, and the other day I was driving it and I'm pretty certain it was an electrical fault. So we're going to have a quick look and see if we can work out what the problem was and fix it. Let's take it for a spin and have a look at what the problem is, and I'll see if I can show you why I think it's an electrical fault. Is an additional gearbox that sits on the back of the main gearbox, which is a just standard 4-speed manual. It adds an extra gear when you're in third and fourth gear, and in order to use the overdrive you just flick a switch on the gear knob. So when I flick the switch you hear it go up a gear, so that was fourth gear, and then overdrive kicked in when I flicked the switch. The problem is, in third gear, it doesn't always stay engaged. So, there's third gear, and then turn the overdrive on, and yeah, oh, there we go. Quick one. Oh, no, there it is again. Oh, there we go. Oh no. So, it's just, there's obviously a loose connection somewhere going on there when the gear lever is in the third gear position. So we're going to get back and have a look at that, see if we can work out what the problem is. Let's have a look inside the car then. Ah, hello Doris. You probably shouldn't be there. Okay, so the first thing I need to do is remove this panel up here, which allows me to get to the screws that hold this dash support frame in place. I can then release that, take the stereo out. I've got 4 bolts to remove at the bottom of this support panel. Then I can pull the gear knob and carpet off, and then take out all the screws that hold the tunnel cover or the gearbox cover off, and then we can access what we need to see. Now I'm going to get the support frame out. So these are the contacts for the overdrive switch. And now I can undo and remove the tunnel cover. This is the gearbox loom, so somewhere here there's a problem. Hopefully it's just this small piece here, because that's a lot easier to replace than the whole thing. I'm just going to pop the ignition on, and then I'm going to put the switch back on and turn it on. So when I put the gear lever over to the right, you'll hear a click as the overdrive solenoid engages. So that's the sound of the solenoid firing. I'm going to wiggle the gear stick a bit just to see what happens, because when I was driving it the other day I noticed that that's what was making the overdrive kick out. So I'm just doing this, and just in third gear, but in fourth gear nothing. In third gear, so that's the sound of the solenoid firing out, and I'm playing around with these cables and I can't seem to... This cable up here has some damage to it, so the copper is exposed a bit. Just about see that. But I've had a really close look and I can't see that that's the fault. I can't make it do anything, and if I touch the metal with the copper it just sparks a bit. So it's definitely not that has anything to do with it, but I will fix that while I'm under here. But just does it occasionally, and I think the culprit is all the way down here at the back. So this is the inhibitor switch. This switch stops the overdrive from functioning if I'm in first gear, second gear or reverse. It only allows the gear lever to function in third gear and fourth. So if I put it in the first and second gear and reverse position, the overdrive cuts out. When I put it over into the third and fourth position, that switch allows the overdrive to engage. But if I put it in third gear and then push on this support pillar, it's making the overdrive cut out, so that switch needs some adjustment to stop the problem. But I'm very happy because that means I can fix it now I know what it is. I've decided to make some minor adjustments the good old-fashioned way. So, just going to put a punch there and give that bracket a couple of taps just to knock it over a little bit so it's closer to the switch, and then the switch will work better in that new position. There we go. So now, if I push against that bracket, I can't even push it hard enough now to make the overdrive disengage, so, but it still works perfectly. So I'd say that's problem solved. Nice and easy, didn't cost a penny, which is the kind of repairs we really like. This is neutral, the overdrive is disengaged. When I move it to third and fourth, you hear the click, it's now engaged. Fourth gear, third gear, it's no longer cutting out, only when I flick the switch. So I think that's problem solved. And now I'm just going to have a quick fiddle with this wire here and sort out the problem. So I'm not going to replace the cable that's damaged, I'm just going to cut it short and run it a different route, which is probably a more sensible route anyway, because I think the reason it's damaged is because it's been pressing against the tunnel cover. So I'm going to cut it here where the damage is, and instead of going over the top we're going to go under and straight into the solenoid there. So I'm just going to put a new terminal on. And I'm just going to cut this plastic sheathing off and put the original Triumph style cover over the top so it still looks relatively period. And then nice solid join there that's not going to come off. And that will just plug in there, and then these covers go over the top of each other. And there's one new join, and that now works perfectly. So now it's time to put it all back together and take it for another spin. Well, that sounds like it's working now, so just time to go for a drive and see what happens. The good news is, so far it works perfectly. Overdrive in fourth, out of fourth. If I put it in third gear and then turn it on, straight in, no problems whatsoever. So I'm very happy about that. The one thing that annoyed me the most though was when I used the third gear overdrive when I'm accelerating hard onto something like a motorway. So when I go really fast and I change gear whilst the car's going fast, it would never work. And I'm hoping that that solves the problem. So we're about to find out. Okay, so we're about to hit the motorway and test it. Here it goes. Third gear. Third gear with overdrive. No problem whatsoever. And now a traffic jam. Well, that's another problem solved that's been annoying me for months, so I'm really happy about that. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to click the subscribe button. If you've got any questions or suggestions, pop them in the comments section below and I'll do my best to answer. Hopefully next time I'll be back with some more on the Dodge. So, see you soon.